Hill Road off of Beach Creek. Should be the first residence on your right. Reference to a missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and advised that the mother had went for a walk. Came home, now they can't find her. They've been yelling for her. She's been gone for about 10 minutes now. And 110.
335, I'll be in route as well. Go ahead. 35. Okay, guys. Probably going to need to think about several maybe. 10-4. 29 minutes. Go ahead. Notify. Rescue. Fire police for search. 335. You say when you got the original call that mom went on a run and when she came back that Sandra was gone?
That's what the father advised. He's at work about an hour away, trying to make his way home.
10-4. C12 Central. C12 will be in or out. 302, I had him on the phone with both of them. You're on zero. Answer any questions he may have on it.
10-4. Do you want us to try to contact the canine?
Let 302 know, and I think he's going to let rescue make that determination.
Yeah.
29, go ahead.
302 has been notified. He also wanted me to just remind you to be sure check the house camper, even if they said they've already had.
Yeah, well. Hawkins County Rescue Squad, all members, mutual aid request, search and rescue with Churchill Rescue Squad. Staging area is going to be at Mount Carmel Baptist Church on Beach Creek. Hawkins County Rescue Squad, all members, mutual aid request from Churchill Rescue on a search and rescue. Staging area is going to be at Mount Carmel Baptist Church on Beach Creek. Also requesting a respond with 6-wheeler and command trailer. First page, 1911. 502. 502. We acknowledge the page and the resource request. We've got several here at the station. We'll be around just a second. Copy, acknowledge the page and resource request. 707, 715. Go ahead. The 1043 is Mark Grant building driven to 1044. The rescue. Go ahead, go rescue floor. And Ranger, rescue club, Ranger, all of it. 339. 39 to 41. All other units are caught up on this issue, correct? Yeah, so I'll be using your direction as above. 10-4, I'm leaving the LSO here.
For the complainant or the suspect? That's it.
06.
Yes.
Is 317 on the train.
He's en route.
Detective Britt, is he on the scene?
We've not been advised.
10-4.
The trailer to 302.
334. By then we need 2 units to come in and to cause the leak.
Made contact with 34 and he's gonna get 2 units.
10-4, just advise them not to send them over here just for them to have a full call the leak.
10-4 outside.
3-2. Myself 41 has it cleared by the time the 2 units go to me. Get one of them welfare check on country lane. We go to me. 2949. 2949. Which direction did you go? I'm in the Mount Carmel Free Will Baptist Church. 49. Go ahead. Temple. Central Dispatch 1205. Oh, 1205 B1097 Mount Carmel Church. 1415 to Central. 1415 to Central.
1415.
Does the fire department need to set up a LZ for the helicopter?
10-4, that's what we were about to do.
Let's do that.
Attention Persia, Sturgis Fire Department, and all members to respond to Sturgis Hospital to set up an LZ for Highland. I have approximately 6 minutes ETA. 1402.
Alright. 1415 Central.
1415.
On scene at the LZ, I'll have LZ command at this time.
Copy.
LZ command to Central.
LZ command.
Go ahead and signal 9 Sturgisville, please.
Sturgisville Fire Department, attention all members, 1415 on scene of the LZ. You can signal 9 your response.
LZ command to Highland.
LZ command there on the EMS channel.
Roger that.
Just available for calls. We do have a pending welfare check.
2934. 41 is in for by itself and 39 and 50 is in the lower end. That's all I've got available right now.
Control copy direct.
302.
Yes, sir.
I heard 34 is 10-8. Which other unit stepping in?
14 advised. What other unit is 10-8? I'm gonna go 10-8. 302 wants to know.
LZ command to Central.
LZ Smith.
Helicopter sitting on the ground.
10-4.
Your other units to go 10-8. And while Rural Wisconsin's over here to take care of county. 2934. 2934. 49's over here with us. He was working with us. So you won't be able to reach him. Econ 302. Okay, copy me 302. 10-4, they're sending your response. 10-4. 44, 5, 6, 8, 7. 302 and all personnel will be released from the scene instant command terminated.
2-4.
301, I'm on my way back. Decon Central.
Decon.
Can you log in the CAD that was read with Senate? NOA.
2-4. 801. Being out from 110 Big Hill Road off of Beach Creek should be the first residence on your right. Reference to a missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and advised that the mother had went for a walk, came home, now they can't find her. They've been yelling for her. She's been gone for about 10 minutes now.
10 for 1 in America.
110.
10 for Mouse Mesa. 335, I'll be around as well. Go ahead. That's fine. Other side. Probably only get several measures and close it. 10-4. 29 minutes. Go ahead. Those fire. Rescue. Fire police for search. 335. You say when you got the original call that mom went on a run and when she came back that daughter was gone?
That's what the father advised. He's at work about an hour away, trying to make his way home.
Cancel. C12 Central. C12 will be in or out. 906. 29 seconds. Notify 302. I had him on the phone with both 0-0. Answer any questions he may have on it.
10-4. You want us to try to contact the K9?
Let 302 know, and I think he's going to let rescue make that determination.
Yeah.
29, go ahead.
302 has been notified. He also wanted me to just remind you to be sure check the house camper, even if they said they've already had.
Yeah, boy. Hawkins County Rescue Squad, all members, mutual aid request, search and rescue with Churchill Rescue Squad. Staging area is going to be at Mount Carmel Baptist Church on Beach Creek. Hawkins County Rescue Squad, all members, mutual aid request from Churchill Rescue on a search and rescue. Staging area is going to be at Mount Carmel Baptist Church on Beach Creek. Also requesting a respond with 6-wheeler and command trailer. First page, 1911. 506. 506. We acknowledge the page and the resource request. We've got several here at the station. We'll be around in just a second. Copy, acknowledge the page and resource request. 707, 715. Go ahead. The 1043 is Park Grant Building, to 1044. The rescue. Go ahead, go rescue floor. And Ranger, rescue floor, command trailer, all that.
Copy.
339. 39 to 41. All other units are caught up on this issue, correct? Yeah, so I'll be using your directions as far as above. Yeah, so I'm leaving there so
For the complainant or the suspect? That's it.
Detective Britt, is he on the scene?
We've not been advised.
Task Force.
Dan Trimmer to 302.
Go ahead.
Britton's on scene.
Task Force. 29 seconds.
29.
Get hold of 334. About them, we need 2 units to come in and call the police.
Make contact with 34. He's gonna get 2 units.
Therefore, just advise them not to send them over here just for them to have some full call the police.
Here's where I thought them.
3 seconds. Myself 41 has it cleared by the time that 2 units go to me. Just one of them. Welfare check on country lane. We go to me. 2949. 2949. Which direction did you go? I'm in the Mount Carmel Freewell Baptist Church. 49. Go ahead. Temple. Central Dispatch 1205. Oh, 1205 B 1097 Mount Carmel Church. 1415 to Central. 1415 to Central.
1415.
Does the fire department need to set up a LZ for a helicopter?
10-4, that's what we were about to do.
What is that?
Attention Persia, Sturgisville Fire Department, and all members to respond to Sturgis Household instead of an LZ for Highland. I have approximately 6 minutes ETA. 1402.
Alright. 1415 Central.
1415.
On scene at the LZ, I'll have LZ command at this time.
Copy.
LZ command at Central.
LZ command.
Go ahead and signal 9 Sturgisville, please.
Sturgisville Fire Department, attention all members, car 1415 on scene of the LZ. You can signal 9 your response.
LZ command to Highland.
LZ command there on the EMS channel.
Roger that.
Just available for calls. We do have a pending welfare check.
2934. 41 is entering myself and 39 and 50 is in the lower end. That's all I've got available right now.
Roll call direct.
302.
That's it.
I heard 34 is 10-8. Which other unit stepping in?
14 advised. What other unit is 10-8? I'm gonna go 10-8. 302 wants to know.
LZ command to Central.
LZ Smith.
Helicopter sitting on the ground.
2-4.
Your other units to go 10-8. And while Roy and Gotchi's over here to take care of county. 2934. 2934. 49 Tracking iron 1402 and all personnel will be released from the scene. Instant command terminated.
2-4.
301, I'm on my way to that. Decom Central.
Decom.
Can you log in the cab that Coach Redwood sent us? Anyway.
2-4. 801. From 110, Big Hill Road off of Beach Creek should be the first residence on your right. Reference to a missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and advised that the mother had went for a walk, came home, now they can't find her. They've been dealing for her. She's been gone for about 10 minutes now.
Yeah, for one of the medical.
110.
335, I'll be around as well. Go ahead. 10-4. 29 minutes. Go ahead and notify rescue fire police for search. 335. You say when you got the original call that mom went on a run and when she came back that daughter was gone?
That's what the father advised. He's at work about an hour away, trying to make his way home.
10-4. C12 Central. C12 will be in her house. 906. 29-6. Notify 302. I had him on the phone with both 0-0. That's the right place that he may have on it.
10-4. You want us to try to contact the canine?
Let 302 know, and I think he's going to let rescue make that determination.
Yeah.
29, go ahead.
302 has been notified. He also wanted me to just remind you to be sure check the house, the camper, even if they said they've already had.
Yeah, well. Hawkins County Rescue Squad, all members, mutual aid request, search and rescue with Churchill Rescue Squad. Staging area is going to be at Mount Carmel Baptist Church on Beach Creek. Hawkins County Rescue Squad, all members, mutual aid request from Churchill Rescue on a search and rescue. Staging area is going to be at Mount Carmel Baptist Church on Beach Creek. Also requesting a respond with 6-wheeler and command trailer. First page, 1911. 502. 502. We acknowledge the page and the resource request. We've got several here at the station. We'll be around soon. Copy, acknowledge the page and resource request. 707, go ahead. The 1043 is partner in building service to 1044. The rescue. Go ahead, go rescue floor. And Ranger, rescue floor, command trailer, all of it.
Copy.
339. 39 to 41. All other units are caught up on CBS, correct? Yeah, so I'll be using your direction. 505. 10-4, I'm leaving the LTO.
For the complainant or the suspect? Okay.
advise them we need 2 units to come in to answer calls a week.
Make contact with 34. He's gonna get 2 units.
10-4, just advise them not to send them over here, just for them to answer phone calls a week.
10-4, I thought them.
3-6. Myself 41 has it cleared by the time the 2 units go tonight. Get one of them welfare check on country line. Go tonight. 2949. 2949. Which direction did you go? I'm in the Mount Carmel Freewell Baptist Church. 49. Go ahead. Temple. Central Dispatch 1205. Oh, 1205 B 1097 Mount Carmel Church. $14.15 to Central. $14.15 to Central.
14-15.
Does the fire department need to set up a LZ for the helicopter?
10-4, that's what we were about to do.
I'll do that.
Attention persons, Sturgisville Fire Department, and all members, and members to respond to Cherokee House School to set up an LZ for Highland. I have approximately 6 minutes ETA. 1402.
Alright. 1415 Central.
14-15.
On scene at the LZ, I'll have LZ command at this time.
Copy.
LZ command at Central.
LZ command.
Go ahead and signal 9 Sturgisville, please.
Sturgisville Fire Department, attention all members, 14-15 on scene of the LZ. You can signal 9 your response.
LZ command to Highland.
LZ command there on the EMS channel.
Roger that.
Just available for calls. We do have a pending welfare check.
2934. 41 and entering myself and 39 and 50s in the lower end. That's all I've got available right now.
Control copy direct.
302.
Yes, sir.
I heard 34 is 10-8. Which other unit stepping in?
14 advised. What other unit is 10-8? I'm gonna go 10-8. 302 wants to know.
LZ command to Central.
LZ Smith.
Helicopter sitting on the ground.
10-4.
Your other units to go 10-8. And while Rural Wisconsin's over here to take care of county. 2934. 2934. 49's over here with us. will be releasing the same instant command terminated.
2-4.
301, I'm on my way to that. Decom Central.
Decom.
Can you log in the CAD that was read with Dennis? Anyway.
2-4. 801.
Good afternoon. I'm Leslie Earhart with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. We had hoped to have good news to share with you by now, but unfortunately, we do not. The search for 5-year-old Summer Wells remains ongoing. Today, teams continue to search the area around Ben Hill Road, and officers and agents continue to follow up on any leads that come in. Many have asked how they can assist with the search. At this time, we are not asking for volunteers to assist. What we are asking is for residents to continue to share photos of Summer and information from credible sources. We know you have a lot of questions about the search area and the process. For that reason, Sheriff Lawson has arranged for Captain Tim Coop to elaborate on those efforts. He's with the Churchill Rescue Squad and is serving as the Incident Commander of Ground Search Operations. Tim?
Thank you, Leslie. As Leslie elaborated, I wish we could have better news than we do now. From notification of Miss Summer going missing, we have implemented several methods of search and rescue, with most of these that we continue to do. We've utilized ground crews of 80 to 100 people of trained professionals, aerial aviation search, both visual and FLIR, medical THB and TBI assisting us with fixed wing, multiple drones, and 4 different canine units. The day that she went missing, we searched from the time of notification until dark. We searched all day yesterday, resumed this morning, and continue on throughout the rest of our operational period, utilizing multiple ground crews, drones, fixed wing, and also a helicopter with canines on standby. Some of the issues we're encountering with this search is the steep and dangerous terrain. With this steep and dangerous terrain, we're also experiencing, as you see behind us, very dense canopy coverage, including very dense ground cover, causing search efforts to become very difficult, taking extra time to cover these areas adequately, exhausting teams a lot quicker, in turn causing longer for these grounds to be covered, allowing those teams for recovery and rehab. We have currently covered at this time at 1 mile from the residents last seen by ground and dog. Hopefully by the end of the day we will have recovered 2 ground miles. Assisting with THP, expanding theirs to a minimum of 4 miles aerial aviation searching. As she stated, residents in this area, everybody continues to ask, well, if she wandered off, why did somebody not see her? This part of the community, the residents are very spread out. Some being from one hilltop to the other hilltop, or at the start of a road, and you may go a mile back before you ever get to another residence. It's making that very difficult for residents just to be able to be at home, outside working or something, and notice her leaving that area. As we continue, we will continually assist Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, TBI, and FBI with this search as long as they deem necessary. And as Leslie stated, at this time we are not asking for any public and or volunteers to assist in the search. A lot of people wonder why. Due to the extreme terrain, the nature of this, trying to locate her, trained professionals is what we need at this time to make sure that these residents don't become endangered and turn around and expand this issue with having to search for somebody else. Thank you.
As we've stated before, the circumstances surrounding Summer's disappearance remain unclear. So if we do develop information that she was taken and we develop a suspect and a vehicle description, of course, we will share that with the public immediately. At this time, that's just not the case. So we'll take a couple of questions, and I'll offer Sheriff Lawson an opportunity to say anything if he wants to.
What time was she last seen, and who reported her missing to the family?
Sheriff.
Her parents reported her missing right around 6:30 p.m.
But when was she, did they say when she was last seen? I know that she was reported missing around that time, but was she last seen earlier in the afternoon or in the day even?
That time is varied because they were searching for their child herself.
I have a question for Captain. Just wanted to see, are you asking for assistance from other agencies? I know yesterday you all mentioned 19 agencies helping out with the quick turnover and personnel, it sounds like, that are searching. Are you all looking for other agencies in surrounding counties to help? And what is the hours that you all are searching?
Yeah, so hours of operation this time are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We have, like Leslie stated yesterday, we have utilized at this time 19 different agencies throughout the state of Tennessee. We also have multiple agencies outside of our jurisdiction in burning states, and also expanding to Middle Tennessee to having these teams on standby.
You talked about getting tips. Can you give me an idea of the magnitude of tips that you've gotten so far, and with the amount of time that's passed? Is there concern, that it's less likely to find the longer it goes?
Of course, the longer this goes, the more concerned we get. At this stage, we've received nearly 50 leads. None have panned out so far.
50?
Yes, approximately 50 at this point.
Who does Summer live with, and is there any history with this family with law enforcement or anything that you're aware of?
Sure.
Summer lived with her parents and 3 siblings.
Are these her biological parents, mother and father?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any history of your office?
1 second. Sorry.
Is there any history of your office going to their home or anyone in the home with any criminal history with family members?
The father has a criminal history.
Can you elaborate on that?
I don't have it with me.
Is any of the family person of dinner?
Everybody's a person of interest till we find Summer. The most important thing is find Summer. That's what it's all about. That's why we're doing the ground searches, the aerial searches, and finding her is first and foremost.
Are you concerned that this could be an abduction at this point after so much time has passed?
Everything's on the table. I mean, we're looking at everything, crossing every T, dotting every I, and turning every stone. That's why we have 2 different operations. Captain's operation is search and rescue. Law enforcement operation is look into this incident and find Summer.
Is the father's criminal record relevant in this investigation?
No, sir.
I've also heard there's been speculation of the siblings in the household, but just wasn't sure if you're able to elaborate on the siblings at all.
They have 3 others besides Summer.
Older, younger,
Older.
sisters?
Older.
One more question, guys. Anybody have another question? Okay.
I had a question. We've heard about issues with communications between search teams regarding lack of cell coverage as well as radios. Can you elaborate on that? What those issues have been and how they impacted the search?
Well, Captain, he can relate to that as far as law enforcement. We can't hardly communicate at all on the radios, and cell phones are out of the question, but thanks to AT&T and Verizon, he can tell you about that. They've been a big help to us. Go ahead.
Elaborate on that real quick. AT&T and Verizon both have bought cell phone service boosters to our command post to help try to utilize cell phone coverage, which is still very spotty for most of the area. Radio communication between ground crews and also aerial aviation has been very difficult due to the state that our radio system's in at this time. For ground crew operations, we're having to utilize anywhere from 4 to 6 different radio channels to make sure the coverage to where everybody's accounted for.
Real quick, when you said that the search area you covered was about a mile, did you mean a square mile or a radius around the residence?
That is going to be a radius from around the residence from the last point of her household.
Thanks, everybody, for being here. Just to clarify, ground search efforts end around 8 o'clock. However, if we do receive any phone calls giving us a credible lead, we do follow up on those leads throughout the night. Thanks for being here. Any updates will be posted on our Twitter feed, and we'll update you again as soon as we have something available. Thank you.
Now at noon, we're following breaking news. An Amber Alert now issued by the TBI for a missing 5-year-old girl.
Enjoyed some nice change out there today. Low humidity once again. We're talking some potential record lows tonight. Details straight ahead.
This is breaking news from News Channel 11.
Right now, the search continues for Summer Wells, the missing 5-year-old girl from Rogersville. And breaking news this afternoon, that endangered child alert now upgraded to an Amber Alert by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. You're watching News Channel 11 at noon. I'm Cindy Kessler. 5-year-old Summer Wells has not been seen since last night. Agents from both the TBI and the FBI are investigating along with local authorities. Well, roughly 3 feet tall, weighing 40 pounds with blonde hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing gray pants and a pink shirt. Now, she was reportedly last seen outside of her home in the area of Ben Hill Road and Beach Creek Road. Both crews have been searching on foot and with helicopters since last night. News Channel 11's Kate Nemrich joins us now live with the very latest details. Kate, what do we know so far?
Sydney, an Amber Alert was issued for 5-year-old Summer Wells just about an hour ago. Around that time, we started seeing helicopters circling once again, searching for her. Now, the road, Ben Hill Road, where she lives and was reportedly last seen, remains closed at this time. Ansley Daniels is also on scene with me, and she just drove past that scene a few minutes ago, where there are plenty of emergency responders present. The TBI, FBI, Hawkins Sheriff's Office, Hawkins Emergency Rescue, Kingsport Life Saving Crew, Bristol Fire, and many more. We're a few miles down the road at Solomon's Temple Baptist, where they have placed balloons in their prayer garden for Summer. They say Summer and her family used to attend this church, and she and her siblings did programs here.
She's a sweetheart. She's just a tiny little thing, and we all love her to death, and just hoping that everything turns out to the good here today.
Daughtry hopes to release the balloons when Summer is found. They are planning a prayer vigil for later this afternoon, but at this time they have not released the details. Again, this has been upgraded to an Amber Alert. 5-year-old Summer Wells has been missing since last night. Live in Sullivan County, Kate Nemrich, News Channel 11.
Okay, thank you. Now, take another good look at this photo here of 5-year-old Summer Wells. A few photos there running on your screen right now. Anyone who has information about this little girl's whereabouts is asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND, or you can email a tip to tbi@tn.gov. We also have all of this information posted on our website. That's where we'll also post any updates and details to WJHL.com.
Captain Tim Coop with the Churchill Rescue Squad. Summer is still missing, and we are more concerned than ever and desperate to find her. TBI agents continue to work with the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI in an effort to determine what happened this summer. We are utilizing all available resources, to include the FBI's Child Abduction Rapid Deployment Team. We want to reiterate that the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance remain unclear, which is why we've been exploring all possibilities. Agents and detectives have followed up on a number of leads, to include residential surveillance video and photos from around the area of Summer's home. Drivers seen in the area at the time of her disappearance have been identified and interviewed. While we've not ruled out an abduction, we simply do not have any evidence at this point to confirm that's what occurred. For that reason, the ground search for Summer continues. It's possible that she wandered off and is lost and afraid. Sheriff Ronnie Lawson is going to talk more about what we need from property owners at this point. Sheriff?
Thank you. First of all, I want to let everyone know that what a big asset that Mount Carmel Baptist Church has been to us. They've opened their doors, their church, their fellowship hall, their land. As y'all see, this is a very remote area, and we would be in desperate trouble if we didn't have that place to set up our command post. With that said, we're using every available resource that we have, and today I want to use you all. I want the word to get out to all the residents in the Upper Beech Creek community, Hawkins County and Sullivan County. We need the residents to go back today, tonight, tomorrow, as soon as possible, go back and check their entire property, any outbuildings, any barns, any place a child could hide. We desperately need you to do that for us. It's easier for you to check your own property than it is to send officers there. We have not stopped. As Captain will tell you, we've been 24/7 for 6 days now. So we desperately need help from the community now in searching their own property. Any question? Okay, Captain.
Thank you, Sheriff. As Bethany has stated, we will continue to search for Summer Wells until we locate Summer Wells. As of June 21st, 2021, search and rescue efforts for missing 5-year-old Summer Wells will continue throughout the day and also the night. At this point, we have utilized 72 agencies from Tennessee, Ohio, Virginia, Alabama, Georgia, and North Carolina assisting in these search efforts. Numerous specialized search and rescue groups and canine teams have been represented from these multiple different agencies. To date, we have estimated approximately 2,400 acres have been searched since Tuesday night when she was reported missing. The rugged mountainous terrain continues to cause problems and slow the search operations at times. The search will continue Tuesday morning into Wednesday morning. An updated release will be issued as new information becomes available. And as stated before, if anyone has any information on the disappearance of Summer Wells, please contact Hawkins County Sheriff's Department and their 1-800-TBA-FIND. Thank you.
We'll open it up for a few questions at this time.
Just wondering, has Summer ever wandered off before?
According to family members, it's not common for her to wander off.
Saturday, there was a pretty extensive search into the evening. Can you elaborate on what that tip was and why there was such a large presence of crews come back out?
Anytime we have information that could potentially lead us to locating someone, we're going to use all resources. Crews were in the area following up on a lead. Unfortunately, Summer's still missing.
How is the changing weather impacting your searching?
Sure, that's a great question. Captain Coop, can you explain?
So the projected forecast here for the next 24 to 48 hours will change our approach. It will not change our aggressive approach. The only thing that this will change, it will change maybe what terrain we approach at this time. due to severe thunderstorms, we can't put our teams in danger to turn around and maximize the situation. We are monitoring weather 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with live weather updates. We're also utilizing the National Weather Service, who calls us on a routine basis. If there's any type of weather that's approaching our immediate area, they have been more than helpful with notifying us in a very timely manner to allow us to know so we can plan on how we're going to approach these areas.
Talking about the weather, is there concern about some of these crews from other areas having to go back to your area to respond to storms there?
Speaking with some of these teams, especially the teams that have been coming out of state, traveling 4+ hours, they also have had to do what we've had to do is utilize as much resources as we can to find summer wells, but we still have to be able to cover our areas. So a lot of these people, they're still allowing people to stay back. When these crews from out of town then return, they'll swap out those crews will then monitor their areas and send us fresh crews, and we're doing the same thing for our resources here locally.
Do you know when the active search will potentially turn into a recovery mode instead of a potential rescue mode?
Let's elaborate on that.
We will address that at some point, but right now our focus remains on finding Summer. We're using all resources as of today, and we want that to be the focus right now.
This is a question more for Leslie and Sheriff Lawson. You just mentioned that you had used some surveillance video, things that you had asked for earlier. Can you elaborate what you saw in that surveillance video and how that might have helped you?
Well, as you know, you guys helped us get the word out. We asked residents to let us know if they had surveillance cameras around their home or trail cameras. Residents have reached out. We've reviewed those photos and video, and if we identified a vehicle in the video, we would identify the driver and then speak to the driver to interview them to see if they had any information.
How long, when someone typically listens, how long does it take to find? Is this exceptionally long?
Every case is different. It's a case-by-case situation.
On day 6 now, for maybe the folks that are out there in the field, how are you keeping, I guess, morale and spirits? How I'm sure folks are tired. They've been out here tirelessly for days on end now. How are you kind of keeping folks engaged and the spirits up?
Ultimately, the people that's involved with the search operations, we all have the same outlook. We will not quit until we find Summer Wells. So these guys have spent countless hours, day in, day out, nighttime. The thing that I stress with my guys is if you're getting to the point that you're getting tired, please take a break, get rest, rehab, recover. That way you can come back and continue to go stronger. It is a large family with law enforcement involved. We keep each other's spirits up. It's all a team effort. And to elaborate on it, a lot of times you guys been up and you start seeing a lot of people leave at the evening time. At the evening time, it is too treacherous and too dangerous unless TBI or Sheriff's Department gets a lead that they need us to go help assist on. Too dangerous for us to keep our guys up in these mountains in this treacherous terrain at nighttime. But I want you guys to know, and rest assured, along with the community, that search efforts do not stop when it gets dark. We have been utilizing fixed wing and aerial aviation to literally scan this area from the time it gets dark to the time that we return in the morning. It does not quit. They utilize multiple resources, FLIR, and other things to continue to map this area and to continue to search for Summer Wells.
This is a question more for Sheriff Lawson, I'm sorry. I know we talked a lot about there's 2 different operations going on, Find Summer as well as the investigation. Is there more on the investigation side that you can tell us into anything that you've talked with family members or anyone who last saw this since you last spoke on Friday?
We've interviewed so many people in the community on the road, and we're still jointly working with TBI and the FBI, and everything is really going real well. We cover each other's tracks, go back and re-interview, and like Captain said, and Leslie, we're not going to stop till we find something.
How is her family doing? I mean, this is going into day 7. Tomorrow will be day 7 since their child has gone missing and nobody is doing this massive search operation. How is her family holding up? Have you spoken with her parents? We've spoken with her parents. I can't speak for them. They spoke with you. They're being cooperative. Of course, they're upset. So we continue to keep them updated and do whatever possible we can to find Summer. And we just ask everyone in the community, especially those of you who have any tidbit of information that you haven't shared, to please come forward. Her family asks that as well. And I think you also talked a bit about speculation and social media rumors. Has that continued to get worse over the weekend? And is that continuing to make us hindrances? Sure, it's always a battle. We ask residents with credible information to call 1-800-TBI-FIND and submit tips through that avenue. We find that we're receiving a lot of tips that is a screenshot from Facebook. It's an opinion or speculation. That's not a credible tip, and it just bogs down the system, as I've mentioned before. So please only share credible information. Someone's opinion or idea on Facebook is not a credible tip. Did you have a question? Okay.
Has the family been ruled out? I know they said that they understood you investigating them and interviewing them. Have they been ruled out of this time or still?
As we've said time and time again, the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance are very much under investigation. And at this time, we continue to explore all possibilities. Okay, thanks for coming, guys. We appreciate the continuing coverage. We appreciate the community and all of their support. And again, I can't stress enough, anyone with information is asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Thank you.
The lead investigator in the Summer Wells case is speaking out. The pressure has been immense on the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office to figure out what happened to a little girl reported missing back in June.
Ansley Daniel has been following this case closely. She has an update. Ansley? Josh and Sarah, there was frustration, some anger, and the presence of a heavy burden when I sat down with the detective John Pruitt with the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. He's led this investigation into Summer's disappearance. He told me that as difficult as this case is to work, he is nowhere near giving up.
Being off the shoulders and off the burden. We have a missing child that we haven't found yet.
Almost 10 months and so much heartache. And investigators aren't immune from that hurt. The question of what happened to Summer Wells still has no answer.
There haven't been very many cases like this. I have never worked a missing child case with all these different entities and agencies involved.
The lead investigator on the case says his days are devoted to finding her.
My day, I check tip line and voicemail when I first get here. I do phone calls and follow-ups on any credible leads I've got. I follow up on anything that I didn't get to a good conclusion the day before. Then I go into my normal caseload of any new cases I've got, follow ups on them.
They've received nearly 2,000 tips.
I will follow up on everything I can to try to bring closure for this.
Self-proclaimed online investigators and social media sleuths have turned this case into a mess of ideas. And tips have come in from everywhere across the U.S. and even overseas. That help, Pruitt says, has led to little more than time wasted.
If these people want to help so much, we always accept applications to certified individuals.
He says the investigation has led to the continued thought that if Summer is found, it will be nearby.
I believe that she would probably be somewhere close by. If we found nothing to lead us to believe that she's been abducted or trafficked out of the area.
Pruitt works alongside the TBI and FBI. Along with the ground search, Pruitt says investigators have poured through data. Almost a year into the case, and Detective Pruitt says it still remains a very active investigation.
I'm not going to let it go cold.
Well, Detective Pruitt assures that what happened to Summer Wells is still being investigated daily. Tonight at 6, he walks us through each day and what it is like for a case that is like no others for all the investigators involved.
Ansley, thanks. And an Amber Alert remains active for Summer Wells. If you have credible information that could help investigators find her, call the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation at 1-800-TBI-FIND.
Nearly 10 months and still no answers.
Tonight, News Channel 11 dives deeper into the disappearance of Hawkins County 6-year-old Summer Wells. For the first time, we have heard from the lead investigator with the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office.
And tonight he tells us what this investigation looks like right now.
Josh and Sarah, the case of Summer Wells does not look much different today than what it did when I first reported live on authorities searching out in Beech Creek back in June of last year. Now, authorities are spending more time than ever before feeding through false tips as well as false hope.
It's sporadic. One day you might get 5 leads, the next couple of days you might not get anything. It's been an active investigation that's I've been devoted to since it first occurred.
As Summer's disappearance approaches the 10-month mark, the scenarios of what happened the night of June 15th continue to grow.
The wandering away, sneaking off to go play or whatever she may have done, that is a viable option.
The night she went missing, authorities said she walked away from her house. The following day, an Amber Alert was issued.
People are probably tired of hearing this. All possibilities are on the table. We're not completely eliminating the abduction idea, but there's nothing to lead us to believe that we need to focus on that alone.
In the height of the search, those on the ground combed through miles of tough, rugged terrain, leaving many to wonder how there was no trace of little Summer.
She was like 3 foot, 40 pounds. It would be a lot easier for her to get through some of the foliage. She's low to the ground, smaller body, a lot more flexible.
Along with the ground search, Pruitt says investigators have poured through data.
We have gone through reams and reams of data. We've collected statements. We've chased down every credible lead that has been given to us. And we are still not much further along than when we started. Surveillance videos, GPS locations, cell phone tracking, cell phone data, electronic data, anything that we could think of to get our hands on.
As time continues to pass since that June day, it's increasingly hard to hold on to hope.
9 months in, I would hope that she was still alive somewhere, but we also have to be open to the idea that is no longer a possibility.
Pruitt says that he has never worked a case like this with so many different entities involved, and he says it's still baffling that it looks the same as it did that night that Summer was reported missing. Coming up tonight at 11, we learn more about Summer's family's relationship with law enforcement, especially as her father remains jailed and lawyers are now involved.
And say thanks. And the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's Amber Alert for Summer remains active tonight. You can call in credible tips to 1-800-TBI-FIND. And we're hearing from District Attorney General Dan Armstrong about his role in the investigation into what happened to the missing 6-year-old Summer Wells.
On the night of June 15th, District Attorney General Armstrong called in the TBI to help with the search efforts for Summer Wells. Now, almost 10 months later and no real developments, this case is unlike anything he's ever worked before.
The sheriff will contact other law enforcement agencies, and under the way the TBI is set up, I have to make the formal request for the TBI. So the sheriff, in this particular case, he had called and asked for help from all the agencies and then called me, and I asked the TBI to get involved.
The long-spanning search for Summer Wells can feel like a blur, but the night of June 15th is clear as day, just as the call to issue an Amber Alert on the 16th.
An Amber Alert is where a child is missing from either the person that's supposed to have legal custody of them or their parents. And so we put out the Amber Alert to alert everybody, including citizens. If you had a cell phone, your phone will go off on Amber Alerts. So you can be on the lookout and help us spot this child if the child happens to show up in your area.
No one has been charged in relation to Summer's disappearance, but that doesn't mean the district attorney isn't involved.
My role basically is just to be an advisor of any legal issues that may come up during the search, who to talk to, how to go about doing that. I am kept briefed periodically, not every day, but periodically, and just available to provide any legal assistance that I can.
As law enforcement is flooded with tips and the seasons change, small-scale searches have taken place in the Beech Creek area.
We follow leads as they come in, so at this point you're basically down to just following whatever leads come in and following up, maybe trying to backtrack and do some things you did before to see if anything comes of it.
The most recent ground search back in February didn't bring anything, and right now there isn't another one planned. Coming up tonight at 6, you'll hear more from District Attorney General Armstrong about his role in the investigation and how it impacts the possibility of future charges.
Ansley, thank you. An Amber Alert is still active for Summer Wells tonight. Anyone with credible information that could help the investigators in the case, call the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations at 1-800-TBI-FIND. All right, Mark, thank you very much. Normally, we hear from the District Attorney General about prosecutions, but what happens when there's nothing to prosecute?
Tonight, we continue our investigation into finding out what happened to Summer Wells. Ansley Daniels spoke with District Attorney General Dan Armstrong in his first interview about the case and what his role is almost 10 months in when no one has been charged.
On the night of June 15th, District Attorney General Dan Armstrong called in the TBI to help with the search for Summer Wells in the Beech Creek community. Now, as the 10-month mark is approaching, his role is looking ahead to the possibility of charges.
It's a case that has implications of the legal system and the law, but you couldn't classify it right now as there's no criminal charges been filed.
Summer's older brothers were put into CPS custody last July, but no charges have been filed over their removal. However, their father, Don Wells, is serving time in the Hawkins County Jail over DUI and violation of probation charges.
This is a very complicated issue that has been made more complicated by the players in this drama.
No one has been arrested, charged in relation to the little girl's disappearance, but that doesn't mean it couldn't happen at some point.
We make ourselves available to both the Sheriff's Office and the TBI to advise them as to the consequences of the next step that they're proposing to take and how we can do it to where if there is eventually a prosecution, it'll be what they gather will be something that would be that we can introduce in a court. Make sure we cover all those bases.
If an arrest ever does take place, that's when Armstrong will look at what charges can be filed.
If it ever got to the point where we were ready to consider charges, then of course they would talk to me about what charges and who to charge. And a case like this would generally go to a grand jury if it ever got to that point.
Armstrong declined to comment about Don Wells' current legal troubles. Even though he stays in touch with law enforcement about where they're at in this investigation, he's almost at a standstill in his particular role.
Church, the congregation, her church, her family attended. The church released this video. Search for Summer Wells, the subject of a statewide Amber Alert. Tonight we have new video of the 5-year-old. Take a look at Summer at Kingsport Seventh-day Adventist Church. The congregation, her church, her family attended. The church released this video taken sometime around Easter. That's her sitting in the front row there. TBI said that they have received nearly 400 tips, still no solid leads. News Channel 11's John Janko found out people in Summer's neighborhood continue to hold out hope.
The long search for Summer Wells has frustrated investigators and search crews, but it has done the same for residents in the area. Michael Fontana lives in Beach Creek and knows the struggles crews are having with the area.
These mountains are very treacherous, very rough. So anything we can do as a community to help them, it doesn't bother me at all.
He says his family donated 20 bags of ice a few days ago at the Mount Carmel Church Command Center down the road. He wishes he could join the search himself, but can only do what law enforcement asks of the community.
Fontana says search crews have not come to his property despite it only being 1.7 miles away from the Wells residence on Ben Hill Road, but he says he has heeded the advice of Sheriff Ronnie Lawson, checking this second home as well as this side building every day for any sign of Summer Wells.
He says the last week has been hectic, bringing a lot more people to the area than usual.
Maybe 20 cars a day pass our road, past the house here. And now it's all day, all night. You have, 40, 50, sometimes 100 police cars. You have helicopters flying around all the time.
More than 50 miles away in Bristol, Tennessee, this woman is trying to bring some hope to the Tri-Cities that Summer will be found soon. She is encouraging people to install purple lights outside their home.
This is something we can do to show our support throughout the community.
She says she did this last year during the Evelyn Boswell search.
We did it as a beacon of hope so she could see that everybody was praying because nobody could go searching for her, kind of like Summer.
Here's John Janko reporting. Take another look at Summer's photo. If you see her or have any information that can help investigators find her or send them in the direction, a good lead, call the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, 1-800-TBI-FIND. You can also send them an email. The address is tipstotbi@tn.gov.